Hi there. Now, we all saw how the diplomatic ties between Saudi Arabia and Iran, which were on odds since so long, now came to a peace. And now both the countries have said that within 2 months they will be opening their embassies, their normal diplomatic missions in the respective countries. So it's a big deal, and it's a big new geopolitical chapter of the 21st century, because these two Gulf nations, not only Gulf nation, yes, you can say Gulf and Persian Gulf nations, they were on odds since at least 1980s, and they were on odds on host of issues, including geopolitical issues, strategic issues, including the geopolitical camps. But now this deal, which was brokered by Chinese intervention, and both countries, that is Saudi Arabia's as well as Iran's uh, diplomats, were there in China for 6 days, and this was their sixth or seventh meeting. Five or six were hosted in Baghdad by Iraq, and this one, the final one, was hosted in China. So the peace was broken by Chinese, and this is a big political, not political, but geopolitical message, which Americans and the Western camp must realize now, because this shows that the world is no longer uh, a unipolar world. You can say it is somewhat a multipolar world, and it is the balance of power is showing its place now. So there are multiple poles in this world, and the West must not think that they are the only big bosses, because if you look at the United States of America, especially in this Middle East region or the Western Asian region, in past 70-75 years, whatever took place, the Americans were on the central stage. But when this peace broke between Saudi Arabia and Iran, Americans were not there, and even the American press and American think tanks, they were caught by surprise, because they were also not knowing that what is going to come. So things are changing very fast, and why things are changing, I'll blame, because I don't like China, and I don't like to see the stretch of China increasing in any part of the world. So I will blame America for this. And why I'm blaming America? Because since so many years I am repeatedly saying that you are pushing Iran to the wall. You are pushing Iran to be friend with Chinese, and now this is showing. The results are obvious now, because you put sanctions on Iran so much so that their belt was tightening constantly, and they had to go for rescue to Chinese, and Chinese did a 25 years agreement with them for of 400 billion US dollar worth, and that is in all different sectors. Let it be gas and oil, let it be industry, let it be health, let it be defense. All these in all these areas they are having cooperation now with Chinese. Then Joe Biden said that he is going to make Saudi Arabia pariah state. What happened now? Sorry, Saudi Arabia also distancing itself from United States camp, so much so that even when Joe Biden went to Saudi Arabia and requested them to increase the oil production, they didn't obey the orders of United States, and they did what they had to do. Even if you look at UN voting vis-a-vis Ukraine war, their stand was mostly, not always, mostly against the American will. So, if you put sanction on countries, if you publicly say that I am going to make you pariah state, then if you don't help them when they need the most, let it be in times of war or other things, then if you put conditions on countries like United Arab Emirates for F-35s, and then they don't buy your F-35 and go for something else, that is for Rafale from France, then I'm not saying that you put it, Americans put them in FATF, but they are finally in FATF's grey list. So all these things, what they are doing, they are actually harming the United States of America and the Western camp in the region, and they are giving space to Chinese, and Chinese are occupying this space, because this peace talk between Saudi Arabia and Iran, you mark my words, it's the deal of the century, and it will change the geopolitical landscape of this region. Now, American press is trying to put down the things, and the American establishment is also saying that they don't believe that Iran will do what they have promised to Saudi Arabia. These are all things I think they will do. Why? Because they will do because they are under very tough sanctions of the Western world, especially the America. So they don't want to have hostilities with Saudi Arabia, and now you see, some days back what happened, Iran said that they claimed that they have found second largest deposits of lithium in the world. They are just next to the deposits which are there in Chile, and if it is true, then Chinese will gain those deposits also. They will gain control on those deposits because Iran is under sanction. Iran cannot take them out, cannot do the mining, cannot do all the procedures which are required to refine the lithium. It's an expensive process. It needs so much of technical know-how, and Iran doesn't have those resources right now, but they are having lithium. And American think tanks, they are saying, oh, these deposits which Iran has found, they won't be able to extract them because they are not having money and technology. For God's sake, you should not forget that China and Iran have done a 25 years agreement of $400 billion, and a big chunk of that money will also go in extraction of these lithium deposits, and world needs lithium. So now you are losing on that segment as well. So the American sanctions, trying to play one country against another country, this is not working, and because of all these issues, China is gaining momentum in Middle East region as well as even in South America. I will make a separate video regarding South America, but this is the failure of US diplomacy, this is the failure of US's foreign policy, and what they are doing, they are harming themselves, their own interests, and it's high time that they must wake up and stop this regime on weaponization of US sanctions, because these sanctions never work. You tell me one thing, viewers, which country they succeeded? Did they succeeded in Vietnam? They didn't. Did they succeeded in Korea? They didn't. Did they succeeded in Venezuela? They didn't. Did they succeeded in Iran? They didn't. Are they succeeding in Russia? They are not. Did this had any kind of success in Syria? Syria was destroyed, but they were not able to remove Bashar al-Assad. Plus, they put the sanctions. So sanctions doesn't work, and the change in the region, this West Asian region, started from 2015 when they tried to displace Bashar al-Assad, and Putin intervened, and Putin's policies and Putin's forces actually saved Bashar al-Assad from crumbling, and now almost entire Syria is in Bashar's control. Now, if you don't change, it's high time, then American hegemony in the region and many other places will crumble. And what will be the effect on India of this new geopolitical event, that is peace between Saudi Arabia and Iran, I will discuss in my next video, and we will make that video in Hindi so that more of my Hindi speaking friends will enjoy it. Thank you.